Good job getting us lost. Well, we finally found the area I've been trying to get to. Took another loop back through part of town, but finally found it.
Does it take us back into this road?
I think eventually it does if you go down that steep part that's really rocky.
Oh, look.
I don't remember this being this rough before. And I believe I'm a better rider now than I was then. That was almost a year ago, September, I think. Pretty sure I've been through here though. I'm almost positive this is the road I rode last year. The flowers. Now, some of these sections of this particular road, which I believe is road 379, I'm not sure I would take a beginner up this. It's not terrible, but if you've never been off-road before and really don't know how a dirt bike feels on this loose, sandy, you know, pea-sized gravel stuff on corners and things, there are some rocky areas and a few sandy spots that might be a little bit spooky for a beginner. But the main road that we turned off of, which I believe is 380, that one, with very few exceptions, should be doable by a beginner. There's some rocks in places, but it's not bad, I don't think. For somebody like me who's just past beginner, barely, this is pretty challenging for me, but also fun. That rut right there, I hit that pretty hard. That's as hard as I've ever hit these front forks. Ouch, I hurt that shoulder. I flew my drone up here last year and crashed it into that tree, I think. After stopping briefly, Tommy says he's fine. He's not having any trouble with the road on that big Africa Twin. So, further proof of the things I've been seeing online and on YouTube, that in the right hands, Africa Twin go almost anywhere. I don't believe I could horse it around up through here. I don't believe my skill level would allow me to do that properly, but Tommy sure can. He's keeping right up with me and not having any trouble. But I do think this road is rough enough in places that if you're a beginner, you at least need to be fairly comfortable standing up. Because if you try and ride through this rough stuff and the rocks, sitting down, it's going to beat your spine up in your butt. And it's definitely going to reduce your fun. But if you're at the point where you're standing pretty good, and using your knees as part of your suspension and stuff, then this isn't horribly challenging. I did it last year as a pretty darn new beginner for the most part. And I didn't have any real trouble with it. It was fun enough that I rode it twice. Hey, sunshine! That's the thing about the weather out here in these mountains this time of year. I've seen a couple people call it monsoon season, but I don't know. I lived in Africa for 2 years. Monsoon season means something different to me than it does to other people maybe. Plus my wife's from the Philippines. They have a wet season. They call their storm cyclones, which is our equivalent of a hurricane. So to me, this monsoon season, I guess maybe technically that's the weather pattern name for it, but to me it doesn't rain enough to be a monsoon. But it does like to do it every afternoon up here in the mountains for a little bit. I've been following, I'm in a Facebook group that's all about the Colorado BDR, and I've been reading posts about guys that are riding it right now, and been a little jealous. Only a little. I'm not sure I'm ready for a BDR yet. But these guys that are riding the BDR right now, you know, a number of them are from out of state. Some of them it's first time in Colorado, things like that. And you've been seeing a handful of posts from people saying, hey, I've been looking at the weather forecast and it shows rain and thunderstorms for like 12 days straight. But I'm here, I need to ride this, what do I do? And it's like, well, best advice I can give you is get up early in the morning and get your ride going, because if you're going to go over those passes, whether it's Hagerman or Ophir or Cinnamon or any of those passes that are part of that southern portion, mid-section of the BDR, you're probably going to get a thunderstorm in the afternoon. It's going to be almost impossible to avoid. So make sure you have some rain gear. Make sure you got good tires, which hopefully you would do anyway before you start a BDR. But other than that, get up early in the morning and get started so you can get over the mountaintop before. Because if you get caught up there at 12,000 feet in a thunderstorm, that's dangerous. That's where people get struck by lightning, and it can get downright ugly and brutal. But if you're in a little bit lower elevation, not up there on the above the tree line when that storm hits you, it's a lot easier to deal with. It's funny when talking about beginners and sort of the process I'm going through and turning myself into an intermediate rider. It's funny how my thoughts play tricks on me at times. When I got done riding with Tommy and Fairface last time out at China Wall, I'll put a link to that video up here in the corner. Over here, yeah. And if you want to check that out, there was some rough stuff in that really made me nervous, tested me a lot, and then they would talk me through it, you know, and I would eventually get myself through it. And each time I had those really hard spots, it never felt, you know, when it got done, it never felt as hard as it could have been. So as I was trying to say before I got distracted, by trying to look at the roads and figure out where I was at, is if with that last ride at China Wall, once I would get through the rough stuff, the obstacles, it always ended up being easier to roll through than I first thought it was going to be. And so I went away from that ride afterwards thinking I need to get back out there or something similar to that and try it again. You know, I'm going to be braver, I'm going to do better, I'm going to keep my momentum better. You know, and I was feeling like I made strides today. I kind of had a little breakthrough of what I was capable of, what I wasn't. And then I come back out on another ride a couple weeks later, and and I get into some of the rough stuff, and I'm like, ooh, crap. So yeah, who knows? Mind plays tricks on me. I feel like, oh, I'm good to go, and then I'm not. And it's like, okay, I got more learning to do. No, I was too far behind you. Well, I'll say on the video you got jumped by 4 ninjas. Oh yes, I remember this climb. I remember hating it too. But I'm better now. You can do it. Yeah, it definitely took that faster than I did last year. Much better than I used to be. That one terrified me last year. Now I was only marginally nervous. Tommy chucked right up it and left me behind. On a 540-pound motorcycle. In the right hands, those Africa Twins are amazing. It's so pretty. See, here's that stuff I was saying I can do better at this. Can I? Keep your foot on the foot pegs. Ow, ow. Oh, the rear brakes on these betas are kind of crappy. They're not the only manufacturer that uses Nissan brakes, but the front one's not bad, but the rear one, sucky. Now we're back to the main road. And the sun's out. Guys, as always, I appreciate you coming along. So I will catch you next time. Ooh, it's pretty. Look at the different shades of green up there, though. That's awesome.